Good
Hello,
morning
Morning
po.
po.
good morning. It's happy Wednesday. It's October 20, and today's the start of our midterm. And last week we have just finished our preliminaries, and you're done with your prelim exam. And I hope that everybody is well rested with the very quick mental health break that I have given you last Monday. And I'm still not done checking all of your essays and performance tasks. So I might need a little more mental health break for me, or I might need more than 24 hours or 7 days a week to finish all of these. But anyway, today is the start of our midterm discussion. It's a brand new term, brand new topic. And for today, we're going to discuss the marketing environment. So just allow me to pull up my presentation. Okay, so for a while. Hold on. All right, my presentation is loading. So can you see my presentation now?
Yes po, sir.
Yes po.
Yes po.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to talk about the marketing environment for today, and this is kind of a long topic. So we will divide this whole marketing environment topic into two sessions. And our objective is to discuss the importance of elements of the company's micro environment, including the company, suppliers, marketing intermediaries, customers, and the public, and describe the macro environmental factors that affect the company's ability to serve its customers, and explain how changes in the demographic and economic environments affect the marketing, and describe the levels of competition, identify the major trends in the firm's natural and technological environments, explain the key changes that occur in the political and cultural environment, and discuss how companies are proactive rather than reactive when responding to environmental trends. Okay, so for today, it's all about the marketing environment. So when you hear the word marketing environment or market environment, I am very sure that these words come across your mind, and we see customer, supplier, organization, media, internal economy, advertising, reseller, intermediaries, and the micro environment and macro environment. And we will actually be coming into terms with these words as we go along with our session for today. And we will begin with the definition of marketing environment or market environment. So this is the combination of external and internal factors that forces which affect the company's ability to establish a relationship and serve its customers. Ultimately, we have learned in our previous discussion that in all of the things that we do in the business, these are all anchored into developing a very good relationship with our customers, right? So, however, towards our the day by day operation in the business, we would come across internal and external factors which could potentially affect our our operation and our relationship with our customers. A company's marketing environment consists of outside factors and forces that affects a company's ability to build and maintain successful relationship with its target customers. The marketing environment offers both opportunities and threats, and successful companies know the vital importance of constantly watching and adapting to the changing environment. The marketing environment is made up of micro environment and macro environment. Before we get to know the details and the difference of micro environment and macro environment, let's talk of the marketing environment as a whole. Because as we have initially mentioned that this environment would affect our day-by-day operation, it would affect our relationship with our customers. They could positively or negatively impact the way we do our business. And so it's imperative that we are aware of who are part of the micro environment and who are part of the macro environment. And because of the nature of the environment is ever changing, it's dynamic, we have to adapt to these changes. No, we see how the environment before is different from the environment now. We also see how business we're able to adapt with the changing landscape, with the changing environment. No, because if you're not going to adapt with these changes, you will be left behind. No, and so since we are aware of the marketing environment, let's get into the details of the difference of micro environment and macro environment. But before I do give that, what's your idea of the difference of micro environment and macro environment? Considering that we come across this word many times, like you have a subject in macro perspective, you also have micro perspective, and you are done with that. So what is the difference? What is a macro environment and what is a micro environment? Any ideas? Any volunteer? Or should I just call, what's your idea about this, Miss Satokia? Tony,
Hello po.
good morning.
Good morning po. Sa aking idea lang po ay para ang micro po ay malawakan po tapos ang macro ay maliitan na
Are you
sakop
sure?
po.
Are you sure? Aren't you
Or
confused?
nagkabaliktad po ako ng nasabi.
Ulitin mo.
Ang macro ay isang malawakan pong ano. Tapos ang micro naman po ay yung pang maliitan lang, kumbaga po may general lang po na may general specific lang po na tinutumbok para po maano po 'yan. Yun lang po, base lang po sa aking idea.
All right, so let's set this straight. Let's take a look first into the concept of like a macro perspective. No, macro. In your subject in the curriculum, ano ba ang nauna? Macro perspective of the perspective. Naalala nyo? When you
Macro po
were,
ata.
Macro,
all
macro,
right.
macro.
Yes, macro. Right now, I am teaching macro perspective of tourism and hospitality. And if you would remember that the macro perspective talks about the general overview of the tourism and hospitality. So when we say general, it's broad, malawak. No, considering that we are aware that the tourism and hospitality industry is very broad. Now, on the micro perspective, it means that we're going into the details of, of the different facets of the different industries involved in the tourism and hospitality. Diba? We are all aware of the umbrella of the tourism and hospitality. Now, in the micro environment, we're discussing every details of each of the branch of that umbrella. Okay, so micro means small or details. That's why like microwave oven would have microwaves or small waves, okay, being used in that oven. And if you remember, maybe bata pa kayo, the macro store, yung macro by it's a membership shopping. So it's like the new concept of SNR nowadays. So because SNR is membership shopping, and if you have been to SNR or are aware of the setup of SNR, it's a big store, okay, and it sells a lot of merchandise. Okay, now putting this into the perspective of a macro environment and micro environment, micro environment consists of local factors close to the company that affect its ability to serve its customer, the company itself, marketing channel firms, customer markets, and broad range of public. So ibig sabihin yung macro environment very much detailed, or it's only within the confines of your own company, yung nasa sa loob. Okay? Whereas ang macro environment naman is consists of a larger societal forces that affect the entire macro environment. So this macro environment affects the micro environment, and that is demographic, economic, natural, technological, political, competitor, and cultural forces. And later, I have a diagram that will provide you with a visual interpretation of who are part of the micro environment and the macro environment. But let me provide you with a side-by-side presentation of the difference of the macro, of the micro environment and the macro environment. So we have just defined micro and macro. So please bear in mind that micro means small, or it's your internal environment, and macro environment is the external or the general environment. In terms of the elements, ang micro environment is composed of customers, suppliers, media, public, em- employees or shareholders, and competitors. So those are the 6 elements. And we will actually go into the details of those elements later. And the macro environment, on the other hand, could be summarized as the PESTEL, or the political, economic, socio-cultural, technology, environment, and legal. No? And in terms of the elements, the nature of the elements of a micro environment is less complex, but it's more specific or industry specific. No? Dahil we have mentioned that this is just the micro environment. Ibig sabihin, very specific. We can get into the details of what's the characteristic of this organization. Hindi siya komplikado. Unlike with the macro environment, na it's complex and it's general. And we could talk, or it could be the same in regional, or it could be the same all across nation, or same all across the globe. Okay. Now, in terms of the influence on organization, there is a direct and regular impact on marketing decisions, and also it remains independent. Okay? Ibig sabihin, in a local setting or in your internal organization, your decision is dependent on or independent of what's happening in the macro. Whereas the macro, it creates an indirect impact on marketing decisions up to a great extent. Kasi nga, so sobrang lawak na, parang wala ka na masyadong, I mean, you have a little control on that, on what's happening on the macro environment. In terms of activities, micro environment, the interaction of marketers with the different functions within the organization, whereas the macro environment, the interaction of marketers is with other elements that are outside the organization. So, pag micro environment, inside lang siya, ang macro, outside. Okay, ganun lang yung kasimple. In terms of marketing control, microenvironment is controllable. So bakit controllable? Kasi kaya mong ma-manipulate, kaya mong ma-impluensyahan yung smallest unit mo because it is just within your organization. Habang ang macro environment, hindi mo siya makokontrol ng ikaw lamang kasi there are outside forces outside of your organization that is beyond what marketers can do. Diba? Considering the elements of a macro environment, like the pestel. Okay? Baka, just to give you an overview, ano ba yung sinasabi kong pestel? Ito rin yun. Pero naka-acronym lang siya as the pestel elements or the pestel approach. This is the pestel or PESEL. Such as kung ano yung nangyayari in politics, in economy, social, technological, legal, or environmental, you have a little control on that because some things are beyond what you can do. Okay? Later we will get into that. In terms of the functioning, micro environment, factors may function in the form of strengths and weakness of the organization, and macro environment is opportunities and threats. I have checked your business plan or your business plan proposal, and I am sure that you are aware of the SWOT analysis, right? Nag-SWOT analysis kayo. So just to make sure if you're doing it correct, SWOT analysis, when you do the strengths and weaknesses, ibig sabihin you're looking into your own organization. That's the micro environment. Huwag ka munang tumingin sa labas. Tingnan mo muna kung ano ang meron ka. Look into your strengths and look into your weakness. Now, looking into the macro perspective is what are the opportunities and the threats of your outside environment. So that is the proper way to do the SWOT. Okay? Now, since that we have differentiated the macro environment and micro, let's get into the details. And we will talk about the micro environment first. No? So, micro environment consists of the actors close to the company that affect its ability to serve the company, suppliers, marketing intermediaries, customer market, competitors, publics, and its customer. And these elements can be shown using, or it can be illustrated using this diagram. These are the micro environmental factors, and there are 6. Okay, please take note. The company, suppliers, marketing intermediaries, customers, competitors, and the publics. And we will take each of these factors one by one. And because of the time availability, we may just be able to cover micro environment, and next meeting is the macro environment. So let us get started. All right, can you help me with help me read this one and explain what's your understanding of the company as the first micro environmental element of Miss Banal? Can you read and describe or give example?
Yes, sir. The company. In designing marketing strategies, marketing division must take over company's divisions into account. R&D, purchasing operations, finance, production, etc. All of these interrelated groups form the internal environment. All groups should work in harmony to provide superior customer value and relationships.
What does it mean?
Ang pagkakaintindi ko po dito sa isa pong company, di siyempre po meron pong kanya-kanyang trabaho po na naka-assign. Parang kailangan pong kailangan pong magkaroon po ng ng mga strategy para po magawa po yung bawat naka-assign sa kanila. And then at saka yung pong word na harmony para po bagang kung maayos po yung trabaho sa bawat division, kung okay po, parang magreresulta po yun ng isang magandang service po para sa customer.
That is actually correct. So the first element of micro environment is the company itself or the business, and we are aware that whatever industry it is, and this holds true not only for the tourism and hospitality but all across the industry. Lahat ng company, it's divided into department or division, no? And each department would have different people, okay, who's part of the team. Example, for the in the hotel industry, okay, the hotel is subdivided into departments. It could be categorized as front of the house or back of the house. There's engineering department, sales department, marketing, front office, kitchen, banquet, purchasing, etc. Okay. However, I mean, they are divided into units kasi they are organized na mag-function na gawin yung trabaho nila, no? In accordance to their job description. However, they are doing their optimum best in the achievement of the common goal of the company. No? So hindi kayo magkakaaway, hindi kayo magkakalaban. Lahat kayo you have to work in harmony. Just like if you remember the concept of TQM, diba, you have your operations management subject. And now you have your quality service management. Naaalala nyo ang ibig sabihin or meaning ng TQM? Anyone here remembers the meaning of TQM? Miss Seniza.
Good morning po, sir. Ano po yun?
What
Medyo
is,
lag lang po sa akin.
yes. What is TQM or Total Quality
T-
Management? Di ba may quality
ah,
management kayo ngayon kay Ma'am Yao?
Opo.
Yeah, anong pagkaalala mo ng ibig sabihin or ano ang konsepto ng TQM?
Um, Total Quality Management po.
Yes, correct. What does it mean?
Overall organizational management po, sir. Yun lang po.
Yes, and when we say overall, it means that you involve everyone in the organization, including the top management, the rank and file, hanggang sa pinakamaliit na tao in the organization. Lahat kayo ay tulong-tulong sa pag-achieve ng objectives ng company. Diba? Yun yung tinatawag nating harmony. So that you can provide a superior value and relationship to your customers. All right, so that's the first element, and let us now go to suppliers. Can you read this one, Mr. Babiera? Aaron?
Sir, good morning po.
Morning.
Suppliers po ba?
Mhm.
Suppliers are other business organizations and individuals who provide the organization with raw material, parts, components, supplies, or services required to produce and supply products to customers. Suppliers form an important link in organizations' overall customers. Value delivery system. Supplier problems can seriously affect marketing. Marketing managers must watch supply availability, supply storage or delays, labor strikes, and other events can cause sales in short run and damage customer satisfaction in the long run.
Can you further explain what you have read?
So ayun nga po, as mentioned po dun sa slide, supplier ano are other business organization in individuals who provide organization. Sila po yung ano, di ba po parang sa industry natin, sila po yung nag ano sa atin, nagsusupply or nagpro-provide ng raw materials natin, yung mga kinakailangan natin sa industry. And yun nga, it can seriously affect nga daw po yung ano, yung ating industry once na may na-delay or may something na naging problema. Kasi nga, yung suppliers ay yung ano, parang is important role din pagdating sa industry. Parang kung wala yung supplier, parang paano natin masasatisfy yung ating customer, paano natin may i-deliver yung service natin, yung products natin. So, when there's a delay or shortage dun sa ating supply, parang it can really cause some problem. Parang yung ano po, parang yung isang example is yung cargo ship po ba na nagkaroon ng problema dun sa ano, hindi mo tao kung saan,
Was it
sang,
the Sus Canal?
yun, in Suez Canal po. So, yun yung isang example din na ang daming naapektuhan na company dahil nga nandun yung supply. Once na na-delay yung supply na yun, parang sunod-sunod na yun, parang domino effect na hanggang pagdating sa customers natin, parang magkakaroon tayo ng problema.
That is
And
right. You're correct. All right, thank you, Aaron. So it's important that we maintain and develop a good working relationship with our suppliers. So sabi nga sa kanta, di ba? Walang sino man ang nabubuhay para sa sarili lamang. So we have to have a good relationship and maintain a good communication with our suppliers because they are the ones who's delivering the raw materials. They are the ones bringing in the our products and services, the materials needed for our products and services. And because sometimes there are problems along the way, you have to make sure that these problems are addressed so that it will not affect um, the delivery or the execution of the products and services. Because kasi syempre hindi maiiwasan, there are problems when it comes to delays, traffic, labor strike, shortages, di ba? Now, for some of you here who have a business, there are times that your supplier are not delivering to the highest quality. Halimbawa, may mga dinideliver na defective, may dinideliver na expire, or na delay yung delivery. And this could somehow affect our service delivery to our customers when these supplies are delivered, as mentioned by Mr. Babiera, when the huge cargo ship was stopped in Suez Canal, and we know that that particular cargo shipping is responsible for the delivery of supplies to a lot of establishments. There was a domino effect affecting the business. If the products will not arrive, you will not be able to produce your products and services. Kung kulang ka ng isang ingredient na delay from the suppliers, hindi mo maiibigay yung produkto na in-order ng iyong customers. So you see that there are many factors that can affect this relationship. And we have to consider that we also try to understand how their business works, okay? So that we could maintain a good relationship with them. Now, let's understand the role of the intermediaries. Can you help me with this, Ms. Benedicto, Charlotte?
Yes po, sir. Intermediaries, many organizations rely on marketing to ensure that their products reach the final consumer. Marketing intermediaries help the company to promote, sell, and distribute its product to final buyers. Some organizations supply directly to the retailer, other use a complex chain, including intermediaries such as wholesalers, agents, and distributors. Marketers recognize the importance of working with their intermediaries as partners rather than simply as channel through which they sell their products. It must partner effectively with marketing intermediaries to optimize the performance of total system like suppliers. Marketing intermediaries form an important component of the organization overall value delivery system. Parang pong yung intermediaries po is yung namamagitan dun po sa mga suppliers and dun po sa company para po sila yung nagdi-distribute ng mga halimbawa po ay yung tulad nga po nun sabi ay parang sila yung nagdi-distribute dun sa mga isusupply nila dun sa kanilang company po.
That is correct. So, kasi intermediary, from the word median or middle, sabi nga ni Ms. Benedicto, namamagitan. Namamagitan in such a way that they help the the producers, the manufacturers, or the wholesaler na ma-distribute itong mga produkto to the end users or to the customers. So there is a middleman, ang tinatawag natin dyan, yung mga intermediaries. Okay? So they serve as a channel or they assist or aid in the supply chain management para mas mapabilis yung distribution ng mga produkto. So, sino dito ang mga naka-experience na to become reseller? Because resellers are examples of intermediaries. Anyone here, resellers?
Ako po.
Yes, Miss Mayrin, I want to talk to you. What are your products?
Madami po. Yung iba po ay pagkain noon. Dati pa po yun, parang senior high school po ako.
So you have varied
Mga beauty
products.
products, mga ganun po.
Okay, so what's your understanding of or your role as a reseller? Saan ka kumukuha ng produkto? Sino ang gumagawa ng produkto? At paano mo ito naiihatid or naiibenta sa iyong mga customer?
Naging ano po ako nun, parang nakakilala po ako ng isang distributor nung sa ano po yung sa lip tint. Yung mga ganun po. Ang gawa po namin is ibibigay po muna sa akin yung product, tapos yung presyo po nun parang 50-50 lang po muna yung ibibigay ko. Tapos pag po nabenta ko na, saka ko po ibibigay ulit sa kanya yung parang kabuuan ng bayad po, ganun.
So, ibig sabihin, mag-aangkat ka ng produkto kay distributor and you bilang reseller ay magpapatong syempre ng kaunting tubo, and this would be your products that you would sell to your customers using the online platform. Kaya nga online seller, di ba? And it's case-to-case basis. There are some intermediaries or there are some resellers na nire-rebrand yung mga products. Ibig sabihin, hindi naman sila yung actual na gumawa ng produkto, pero nire-rebrand nila. Ibig sabihin, kunyari, mag-aangkat sila ng produkto galing sa isang supplier. They will order the product unbranded. Ibig sabihin, hindi ma-identify kung sino yung gumawa. Pero dahil ikaw yung reseller, you will carry the brand of the product that you will be selling. And that is what other distributors are doing. Nagpapagawa sila ng produkto sa manufacturer and they will just pay for the rebranding. Okay? So, it works in many different ways. So, basta tandaan lang natin that the role of intermediaries is to mediate or to be in the middle to assist or support in the distribution channel to reach the target market. And in the same way with the suppliers, that we have to also maintain a good working relationship with the intermediaries. Okay, can you share what's your understanding of the competition or competitors Luis Alquileta.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Competition. The marketing concept states that to be successful, an organization must provide greater customer value and satisfaction than its competitors. Marketers must gain strategic advantage by positioning their offerings strongly against competitors' offerings in the mind of consumers. So, dito po sa competition, many industry po talaga nagkakaroon ng competition, and the best strategy is uh, to give promo or discount to the customer, to the first timer customer, and we need to give our um, the 100 satisfaction of the customer to ano to gain loyalty of customer, ganun, sir.
All right, thank you. So, syempre, competition would have its advantage and disadvantage. No, looking into the perspective of on the business side, maybe you would think na ang dami namang kalaban. So, syempre, pag maraming kalaban, yung customer, maraming pagpipilian. Chances are na bumaba ang sales mo kasi ang daming yung customer hindi na sa'yo pupunta. Di ba? Pag kokonti yung kagaya mo na negosyo, monopolize mo yung business. Ibig sabihin, wala kang katulad or kokonti yung ka-competition mo. But when the competition is very stiff or it's neck to neck, na marami kang katulad, kagaya ngayon, parang ano ba ang mga business na nagsusulputan? There's a lot, if you try to look around your community, there's a lot of milk tea business. I mean, every kanto may milk tea, but how can you make, if you have your own milk tea business, how can you make your shop or your business different from the others? With competition, you, looking onto the positive note, mas nag-i-improve ka. Kasi ayaw mong pabayaan yung sarili mo na nahahayaan mo na lang na yung mga target market mo mapunta sa ka-competitor mo. So, syempre, aalagaan mo yung business mo and you will try your very best to maintain your excellent service or excellent delivery of your products and services. On the customer's perspective, pag maraming competition, marami kang pagpipilian. And titingnan mo kung sino yung business na makakapag-provide sa'yo ng pangangailangan mo. 'Di ba? Parang kapag nagsawa ka na kay restaurant A, then there's restaurant B. Or like, if nagsawa ka na kay Jollibee, you can go to McDo. If you don't want fast food, you can go to casual restaurant or you can go fine dining. They are all competition because they are within the same industry. Because in competition, we have what we call the direct competitor and indirect competitor. Direct competitors is yung within the direct or same category as yours. Example, on the same category ng mga fast food. Yan, magkakalaban kayo. Pero technically, ka-competition mo rin or kalaban mo pa rin yung ibang mga food industry kasi nahahati or nade-divide yung attention ng iyong target market. Okay? So, competition can be good. It could also be bad. Or it could work positively for you. It could also work negatively for you. Okay. Let's talk about public. Ito medyo mahaba ito because there are 7 types of public, but you could talk in general of your understanding about who are the public. Okay? Estela Marie Perez.
Good morning po.
Good morning.
Publics. The organization's microenvironment also includes various publics. A public is any group that has an actual or potential impact on an organization's ability to achieve its objectives. That the range of public is as follows. Financial publics influence the company's ability to obtain funds. Media publics carry news, features, and editorial opinion. Government publics. Management must take government developments into account. Citizen action publics. A company's marketing decisions may be questioned by customer organizations, environmental groups, etc. Local publics include neighborhood residents and community organizations. General public. The general public's image of the company affects its buying. Internal publics include workers, managers, volunteers, and the board of directors. So,
Okay,
ang
so
pagkakaintindi ko po sa public is sila po yung mga group of potential na may interest po dun sa product or service mo or dun sa company mo. Yan po.
okay, and in general, the public could also work both ways. It could work positively or negatively, uh, depending on its impact. No, just like with the different types of public, such as the financial public, like it could be the banks, cooperatives, and they could assist you with your marketing objective. The banks could lend you with money to assist you with capitalization, and same with cooperatives and financing institution to help you reach your objective. The media publics, we know that there are many different forms of media, whether that's on TV, radio, print, and now with the advent of social media, it could work positively and negatively. So it depends, diba? And we know and we are aware since last time we were discussing of the digital trends in marketing, and that digital marketing or social media could be double blade. Ibig sabihin, it could work for you or it could also uh, threaten you. Diba? Ang dami nating experience, nakakita tayo how social media has helped boom the business or mag-prosper or mag-proliferate kasi naging trending. 'Di ba? Merong mga social media influencer na nag-endorse, pero it could also affect your business negatively should there be one moments of truth instance na merong isang customer na nagkaroon ng negative experience dun sa iyong negosyo is dahil pinost niya sa social media, kumalat sa Twitter, pinost yung photo sa Instagram and all, nasira ka. Diba? That's how media publics could help you, and it could also destroy you. Diba? Then the government public may assist you with permits, with government aid, mga ganon, and other LGUs. Citizen action public is the various organizations and groups, no? Then the local public, your neighborhood or your immediate community. The general public is masa. Kumbaga, the internal public is your immediate environment. Okay? So those are the public. Okay? And then the last would be the customers. Miss Lusterio, can you read this for me? Leila May, I think I am not able to hear you. Can you check your audio, please? I'm hearing no response. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Can you fix your microphone? Means yeah, I cannot hear you. Can you help her, Miss Maniakop? I'm sorry, bawi tayo, Miss Lusterio. Miss Maniakop, can you read this for me? From Laila to Leila. Yes, Leila.
Customers are crucial and most important actors in the organization's microenvironment. In a commercial environment, no customers means no business. An organization should be concerned about the constantly changing requirements of its customers and should keep in touch with these changing needs by designing and implementing an appropriate information gathering system. The organization can only influence their decisions by offering products and services that would delight them, thus identifying, anticipating, and satisfying or delighting the requirements are a crucial issue for marketers. So, sa sa marketing daw po, customers daw po ang pinakamahalagang actors po kasi sila po yung ano po, yung tumatangkilik po ng product na ino-offer po ng business nyo. So, mahalaga po na masatisfy nyo yung needs nila para po ma-delight po sila dun sa binigay nyong products or service. Yan lang po.
Thank you. Precisely correct. And a while ago in my marketing class, ay, kanina ba? In operations management, I was discussing guestology, and I guess that you're also aware of the word guestology, that guestology is the scientific study of the customers, and we intend to know the needs, wants, demands, and emotions and behavior of our customers, because this all form a crucial part in the guest experience so that we could satisfy them. And we have to note that there are different types of customers. There's direct customers, indirect customers. Customers can be segmented according to class, okay? Because different classes of customers would have different buying capacity. They also have different needs, wants, and demands. They have different behaviors, but it all boils down to the concept that customer is a priority, customer is the king, customer is always right, or customer is the lifeblood of the business. Because without the customers, you're nothing. Customers bring in money to the business. If without the customers' money, wala tayong pampasahod or pampasweldo sa tauhan. And kapag walang sweldo, walang pumapasok na kita, patay ang negosyo. So truly, we have to value the worth of the customers and the role they play into our business. And that actually is we have pretty much covered all of the elements of in the micro environment. And since we don't have enough time left, it's actually 11:30, and we will stop from here. And I probably would have a recording of the discussion of the macro environment. Okay, so I hope it was a fruitful session with you. Please take note of what I have discussed, and I hope that you have learned so much today. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you on the next on our next session, and I'll see you on the next Google Meet link. All right.
Thank you po.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you
goodbye.
po.